Hello to all my college football friend fanatics out there. Welcome to the Buckeye Vinny YouTube channel sports show. My friends, December 30th, the Orange Bowl matchup, and this is going to be a good one, between number 6, Georgia Bulldogs, coming in at 12-1, taking on the number 5th ranked Florida State Seminoles, coming in at a perfect 13-0 and also 10-0 and ACC Conference champion. So my friends, this is going to be a very interesting matchup to say the least. In case you wonder, these two teams have met in the past 11 times in the history of Georgia and Florida State Seminoles. And Georgia holds a slight edge in this series. Georgia winning 6, losing 4, and tying 1. Their last meeting, you got to go all the way back to the 2002 season where the Georgia Bulldogs defeated the Seminoles 26-13. But my friends, when you break this game down, two very, very similar college football teams. We're talking about both teams right around averaging 38 points a game, and both teams' defense yielding 16 points a game. I believe this is going to be a really fun game to watch. I think it's going to be a very competitive game. And when you break down Kirby Smart's season this year, they had QB1 Carson Beck. What a phenomenal job this young man did the whole year. Passed for 3,738 yards. Wow. Can he get to 4,000 yards passing? We shall see, but he needs another right around 270 yards passing against the Seminoles if he can reach that milestone of 4,000 passing yards in a year. I think he could do it. 22 touchdown passes this year, 6 interceptions, and completed 72% of his passes. The 1-2 punch all season long on the ground, I called them the dynamic duo. Dejon Edwards, 818 yards rushing, 11 TDs on the ground. Kendall Milton, 686 yards rushing, 12 touchdowns on the ground. And boy, did Kendall Milton do a very nice job in the last 5 to 6 games, coming off the bench, getting that starting nod, and proving himself as one of the top backs in the country. Now, moving on to the receiving corps. What more can you say? Brock Bowers leading the way, and this young man even sat out a couple games due to an injury. Led the team with 56 receptions, 713 yards receiving, 6 touchdowns. Dominic Lovett, a very good year, 51 grabs for 575 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Marcus Rosemy-Jack Saint, 32 grabs for a little over 500 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns. Now, turning over to the Georgia Bulldogs defense. What more can you say about this defense? Only yielding 16 points a game. They were led by Jalon Walker, led the team with 5 sacks on the year. Dumas Johnson, Mikael Williams, both combined for 3.5 sacks on the year. And when you look at the secondary, team interceptions came in with 11. And what a job Tyke Smith did. 4 interceptions on the year. Bullard had 2, and Malachi Starks, a really good year this season, also chipped in with 2. Now when you look at the D-line, we're talking about a Georgia Bulldogs team that, this kind of shocked me a little bit, that only had 28 team sacks this year. So I believe last year was something like 36 team sacks. So the D-line, linebackers, they were a little down on the sacks this year, but the secondary played really well for the Georgia Bulldogs. Now going over to the undefeated Florida State Seminoles, coached by Mike Norvell. Again, averaged 37 points a game. Very stingy defense, only giving up 16. But their bread and butter all year was that tremendous rushing attack by Trey Benson. 905 yards rushing for a very impressive 5.8 yards per carry average and 14 rushing touchdowns. So, my friends, this is going to be the key. If the Seminoles want to pull this game off and win this game December 30th in the Orange Bowl, Benson needs to have a big game. When you look at the other running back, Lawrence Tuafili, 463 yards on the ground, a very impressive 6.7 yard per carry average, and 4 rushing touchdowns. So this game's going to be one in the trenches. The O-line of the Florida State Seminoles taking on the big D-line of the Georgia Bulldogs. Can Georgia stop the 2 running backs for the Florida State Seminoles? And the flip side, can Florida State Seminoles stop Dejon Edwards and Kendall Milton? We shall see on December 30th. When you look at a few of the very good receivers for the Seminoles, Keon Coleman, 50 grams on the year and an impressive 11 touchdown catches. Johnny Wilson, 41 grams for 617 yards, 2 touchdown grabs. And Jaheim Bell, 39 receptions, 503 yards receiving, and 2 touchdowns. Now, what really jumped out at me was the Seminoles team sacks. They came in with 45 team sacks. My friends, do the math. 17 more sacks than the Georgia Bulldogs defense. So this is going to be a really, really fun game to watch. We are talking about 2 teams that, I'm just going to be honest, ended up getting snubbed from the 2023 college football playoff pairings. We're talking about FSU, once again, 13-0. They did everything the committee asked them to do. Go undefeated, they did that. Win your conference, they did that. Okay? Was it their fault that their starting QB got hurt? No. I'm just going to say this, and I'll get my point in very quickly here. If this was Alabama, that was a perfect undefeated year, that won their conference, which they did, but their quarterback got injured, and they had to go with a second or third string quarterback, I'm just going to say this, because of Nick Saban, the committee would have put Bama in. Just wanted to get that across. Now going on to the Georgia Dogs. 29 straight wins, and that's an all-time record for the Georgia Bulldogs. And back-to-back national championships, 2021 and 2022. And let's not forget, lost by only 3 points to the Alabama Crimson Tide. So, my friends, we shall see. This is going to be a fun game to watch. Once again, December 30th in the Orange Bowl. I believe this game is Saturday, and it starts at 4 o'clock. All my Georgia fans out there, tune into this game. Florida State Seminoles, you fans, you tune into this game. It is going to be one exciting game. And once again, I truly believe that Mike Norvell, Seminoles coach, and Coach Kirby Smart, Dawgs coach, have the utmost respect. And Buckeye Vinny is out of here.